Hello again, everyone. How are you all? Hope you're all well. And welcome back to Let's Talk Retro. Tonight we have a very special guest, which is Tezz from Tezz Made This. We'll get him on in a minute. But if you have never seen Let's Talk Retro, a quick run back of what it is we're going to get a guest on every couple of weeks, and we're going to just talk about everything, anything and everything, basically. And hopefully by the end of it, we'll get to know a little bit more about the person. We'll get to know a little bit more about their favorite subjects and what basically makes them tick. So, yeah, let's have a quick look at the chats. We've got U-Star Gamer in at the moment. And there's Tezz as well. Tezz, I will get you on in a second, mate. U-Star Gamer, Retro Bait, how you doing, mate? And this here is my mate John, which we did a live stream, was it last Saturday, where he kicked my ass playing Tekken. So, yeah, probably do more of them in the future, but get better with the audio quality. Did have an issue with that. Right. Let's get on Tezz. And Tezz Made This. How you doing, mate?
You all right, buddy?
Yeah, how's things? You good?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. I'm happy to be on the show.
A bit of a weird one for me because this is the first time I've ever done a stream where I can't actually see the person. I mean, I love the fact you've got an image as a face I can actually look at, but it's really weird to actually not have somebody to be directly interacting with. Is there a reason why you don't actually show your face on camera at the moment, or what's the reason behind that?
Well, originally I never intended to. The channel was just meant to be gameplay and so on. I wasn't even supposed to talk in it originally, and then I got people saying, "Come on, have a chat. Let's hear you talking, mate." So I got into the talking, and now it's come to the face reveal. I'm going to leave
it for a big reveal now, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah. People are saying leave it for a big reveal for a sub count of maybe 200 or 250 or something. So I need to set up my gear. I do have a phone that I can hook up somehow, but I've not tested it out properly yet.
Well, as I said, if I can do it, anyone can. If this ginger idiot here who has no technical skills whatsoever can do it, you can. For me, I remember when I first started the YouTube channel, I only ever did show my hands to begin with. And that was probably for 7 or 8 videos. And then one day I was just in the back garden having a fire, and I thought, oh, I'll record a video in front of the fire. Could barely see me, obviously, because the fire. And I thought people would absolutely hate it, but they love the fireside videos. And you know what? They're my favorite ones. So I think sometimes when you just get on and do it, then it's a lot easier after that.
Yeah, those videos that you mentioned, the fireside videos, they were amongst the first videos that I stopped by and viewed when I discovered your channel. So, yeah. I think the one that I remember the most is you built a white Spectrum and did a giveaway. And I was so impressed.
That Spectrum really cool. Is all the way over in America, in Texas now. So and there's a guy called, his channel is Floppy Deep Dive. I know, a bit of a weird name for a channel, I know, but it definitely sticks in people's head. And he's won it, and he's mainly a Commodore 64 channel, so it was his first ever Spectrum, and he won it in a raffle, which I think is great. And now, every week I'll see something pop up that he's trying a new Spectrum game that he'd never tried before in his life.
There you go. You started the guy off.
That Spectrum actually came from Retro Bait, and I'm not going to lie, this thing was probably only fit for the bin, and it could have been where it ended up. I think he bought it 15 quid, and then he sent it on to me, and then we've got a mate of mine, the Retro Robin Show. He sent me the parts over as well. So it was a collaboration of different people getting that Spectrum together, and now it's gone all the way to America. So I think it cost more in postage than it did to fix the bloody thing up, I think.
Yeah, I bet. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, when the person comes through and says American, you think, oh no.
Yeah, I must admit, I was dreading that somebody from another country would win it. But I said at the beginning, this is open to everyone because I see so many raffles and stuff where people can't get involved. So it's well worth it, and someone's really enjoying it.
Yeah, so it was a cool vid. I enjoyed that one.
So your channel then, let people know about. Should we bring it up? because I'm sure
Sure.
you've put a link to your channel. No, this isn't your channel. This is the YouTube channel, isn't it?
This is
So
you mean YouTube Connect? That's
yes.
it.
So talk people through. Get my words out right. And that's one thing I've said as well is don't worry about messing up your words and stuff like that. I do it all the time. As soon as you stop worrying about that and stop trying to be perfect, it's a hell of a lot easier to do.
It's true. I just go with the flow, whatever's happening. Yeah. So YouTube Connect. It's a passion project of mine that I started not long after I started my YouTube channel, because I went to Facebook looking for a group like this that I wanted to, I wanted to talk to people. I wanted to get people's ideas. I wanted to get feedback and so on. Also, I wanted a little audience at the same time, the same as everybody does. But I couldn't find it. All I found was places were cold. They had nothing happening. Every now and again, there was comments on some of the videos, but most of the time it was usually people dropping their links inside the comments, so they quickly got lost. So you'd post a video and it'd just get lost really quickly in a bunch of mess. So I thought, well, I can do this. I can make one, and even if it's for 10 people or 20, it'll be useful for those little 10, 20 people. And I thought, well, maybe it'll become 50, and that's what I originally thought. And now it's become 100, and now up to 163. So it's ticking along quite nicely. It's not too big, it's not too small, it's just right.
Yeah, I think the good thing with that as well is your channel. I keep saying channel. Forgive me. Your YouTube, Facebook.
Yeah, just call it group.
Get it right in a minute. Yeah, your group. Your group is not just about retro gaming, though, is it? It's absolutely open to everyone.
Yeah, that's right. It's for all YouTubers of any caliber, really, that want to join. And you can be big and want to give your advice to smaller channels, or you could be small and you'd want to get advice from bigger channels. So we've got a mixture of both, starting out and people that have been doing the rounds for years, even 10 years or so now.
Yeah, so, well, you say 10 years, and then right there we've got Retro Chef.
Yeah, so
I think he's been on YouTube since it started.
People aren't using it to its full potential at the moment. I'm trying to get people to ask the questions that they need and to get involved more, and because people are out there willing to give those answers, it's just the questions are not being asked quite often. It's become a place.
It's quite new though, to be honest. So I mean, it's got its potential of growing from there.
It's just about steering it in the right direction. It will take shape.
Yeah. I mean, how long's that been going for, the group? Because I think that's how I ended up seeing you, to be honest.
I think we're talking January when I started the group.
Yeah.
Yeah, January. And it's come this far in 6 months, which is not too bad. I didn't expect it to get this far.
A few more people in, so I'm going to quickly say aloud. We've got Martin at the Hobby Lodge. Another great channel. We have Retro Skelly. How you doing, mate? Hope you're well.
Yo, Skelly.
Yeah, that Retro Chef, can't escape him. U-Star Gamer. Again, another great channel just starting up. And who else we got down there? Oh, we've got Gashead Steve. How you doing? Not spoke to you for a while. Hope you're good. Right then. Do you want to talk about your YouTube channel, or should we save that for the end?
I'll let you steer, mate. We'll go whichever direction you want.
Steer. Right. So what we're going to do, though, is to begin with, we're going to be talking a bit about your gaming history to begin with, because primarily I am a gaming channel. So at any point, I will try and get a bit of just chat about retro gaming in there. So just tell me, where did your gaming history start? Like, what computer, console, or memories do you have attached to any of them?
So when I was young, the first memory I have of a game console was the G700. The Philips G700?
G7000. Is that the
G7000?
Is that the one with the game carts with the handle?
That's right, and the plastic button sheet.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
and a friend. It was his mum and dad's, and they played bowling on it. It was very primitive, but we all wanted to play it and we weren't allowed.
A fact about the actual G7000 is when they made that, because all the game carts are numbered. If you look at all the games up until about 35 to 40, they were all programmed by one person on his own.
Right.
It wasn't until it got to the mid 40s that some other people came onto it and started helping out. Yeah, now you talked about that because my mate John, his first console was the GX 4000 as well. GX 4000, G7000.
G7000.
Yeah,
So
sorry, the
that's the
GX
first one I
4000
can
is the
remember.
Amstrad.
After that, we got an Atari 2600. You know, the wooden
2600
effect one, and we had that for ages, and we had about 10, 15 games on it all told. And I can remember obviously Pac-Man from that, which was like everybody wanted Pac-Man, everybody. There was a bowling game
not
on
the best port though, was it?
Yeah, but it did the job. It did the job.
Exactly. I think that's the thing now. Looking back at games, it's easy to mock them now for not being graphically great. But if the other option was going to the arcade and spending loads of money or having your own Pac-Man, of course you're going to enjoy it.
You look at it now and you think those graphics look a bit dodgy, but back in the 80s on a big 26-inch TV, CRT TV, they look glorious. Let's face it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we didn't think that we were getting much better at the time. We certainly didn't think we'd be getting GTA 5 type of realism. So
yeah, it is crazy to think that though, isn't it, of how far technology's come in a relative short pace of time, really.
I think one of the games I remember from the Atari days more than anything was Pitfall, because I played it with my dad a lot. He used to really enjoy that game.
Yeah. Did you ever play Pitfall 2?
I'm sure that I did. I'm sure that we had both of them.
Yeah, Pitfall 2 is a bit more of an exploring game, isn't it? I still don't know whether there's an ending to those games. I've never even
being young at the time, I can't remember being that good at them, so certainly don't remember finishing them.
Yeah, I don't think there's many Atari games that actually had an end. So after the 2600, what else did you move on to?
So from then, I sort of didn't do anything for a while. Was a teenager for a bit, and then settled down into.
We all know what that means.
Yeah. So, and then it was the VIC-20 that I got my hands on next. Had a few games with that. And that was pretty cool. I enjoyed the game. There was a game called Rockman, which nobody seems to remember. But
Rockman on the VIC-20.
Yeah, it was on the VIC-20. I've not been able to hunt it down. I don't know if I've got it wrong, mixed up with another game. But
explain the game if you can. See if I have.
Basically, you're pushing rocks around like a dig dug situation and stuff like that. You're in underground tunnels. Oh, what's the one called?
Because it might actually be on here. That's why I was asking, because I've got a penultimate cart for the VIC-20, and this is loaded with loads of games that I've not gone all the way through yet. So I'll have a look and see if it's on here. And if it's on here, I will. I'll do a video and I'll let you know.
Yeah, it's got a classical piece of music as the soundtrack. So, and it's one of those ones that get.
We've got Gashead Steve saying he remembers Rockman on the VIC-20.
Yeah, so that was one of the games that I played like
he said he had it on the C16, not the VIC-20.
Oh, C16. See, I didn't have a C16. I went from VIC-20, sorry, and then got myself a C64 eventually from that. Was quite happy with that for ages, because you could just get games for $3.99 every couple of weeks, and you were laughing. And you had the magazines as well with the demos and such on. So it was great. Every week there was something to do on it.
Yeah, I do miss demo discs on magazines. I think the last time there was ever some good demo games was PlayStation 1. Everything after that kind of just become videos, didn't it? And everything else. So
I love the Amiga. Yeah, the Amiga had a lot of demo kind of stuff on that, and the Amiga was able to realize the graphics that had been in the previous Commodore 64 demos, which was pretty cool. So now you could play space games that were akin to those Commodore 64 demos back in the day.
Yeah.
So obviously it's from the C64, and I've got to mention what games for C64 I'd have to. Let me think. Was it the Dizzy collection?
I'm going to say it now, and this is live on the internet. I don't like Dizzy. I hate Dizzy games. Do not like them. Can't stand that bloody egg. I hate the way he jumps. I hate the way he picks up items. I just don't like Dizzy.
So the
Now,
thing is, I had young kids at the time, so I had to compromise a bit when I was sorting games out and buying games. It had to be a bit for everybody, and the kids obviously loved Dizzy, and it was like, oh yeah, get the next one, Dad, get the next one. So I had to.
yeah, I don't know. He's a beloved character, I know, but I just can't get on with him. It's like I'm going to say it. Manic Miner. Why does everyone love Manic Miner so much? Not Manic
It's too
Miner.
hard.
Not Manic
Jet
Miner.
Set
Jet
Willy.
Set Willy. Sorry, got
Yeah.
the wrong one. Why does everyone love Jet Set Willy so much?
It was
I
one
just
of the
found it
first.
frustrating.
I think it's because it was one of the first and it was accessible. If you went round a friend's house, like you had somebody had it somewhere, so everybody played it.
Yeah. Well, we all had backup copies, didn't we? Back in
Backups.
the 80s.
That's right.
We'll call them backups.
On your C90s.
Yeah.
Your
It's actually really
TDKs.
funny. I still remember going to car boot sales and being able to buy copied Amiga discs of games.
Yeah.
And they were bundled together with some rubber bands. And I'm sure that's where we also got, was it the Crazy Joe's cookbook? Is that what it's called? I think John will know what I'm talking about. Basically, it gave you all hints and tips and things like that of how to make explosives and all stuff like that.
The Anarchist's cookbook.
Is it Anarchist cookbook?
Yeah, I'm sure it's the Anarchist cookbook.
I remember learning how to make smoke bombs.
Yeah. I remember, they were available, and they had when it went into the PC side of days, like there were more and more volumes of it. It got more and more dangerous.
It continued then.
It's not the kind of thing you want on your computer now, that's for certain.
No, you'd have somebody not. The weird thing is the fact that you could buy it at a car boot sale. If that was happening now, the place would be raided, wouldn't it? So.
Oh yeah. But there again, saying that, like bootleg Amigas and Amiga discs, are they?
Oh, hang on. It's also known as the Jolly Rogers cookbook.
Yeah, the Jolly Roger cookbook. That's another one.
So there must have been so many of those out there. God, we did some dodgy.
Oh yeah, everybody had a disc. Everybody had a disc.
Right. Anyway, that's. Is there any more of your gaming history?
So yeah, we was going to go on onto the Amiga.
Yeah.
So I had the Amiga 500 and then went up to the 1200, and like they were some good years in gaming, like Speedball 2 and stuff like that. The graphics were just, especially when you moved up to the 1200, everything was just, oh, this is the best. I thought that we ain't getting better than that. I honestly thought that was.
I don't think we have.
In a way, because some of those games then, I mean, look at how when Cannon Fodder, you play that on it, it's how it's supposed to be played. It works beautifully. Even the emulated version doesn't feel the same as when you play it on the original hardware and so on.
The music on the Amiga is just something else, though, isn't it?
Yeah, we skipped over the Commodore 64, and I failed to mention, even you did, mate, the SID chips. And I know we've got.
There's a reason why I didn't bring the SID chip up, because we've got Retrobait in the comments. We don't want to have an accident if we start talking about the SID chip.
I thought you were going to say something like that.
He gets a little bit excited when we start talking about SID chips.
So
then again,
I mean,
we've also got John as
my
well.
My major bit of gaming was when I moved from the Amiga into PC land and started going online, because I started online gaming back in 1997, 98. That's how long ago it was. And I was leading a group of 50 wieldy people from around the globe on a game called Delta Force 2, which is a first-person shooter where we just all go around shooting at each other, basically. Two teams capture the flag and that sort of stuff.
Does anyone in the comments remember that game? Let me know if you have any experience with it.
Do you know what? Since I've come back online a few years back, I haven't bumped into anybody from the old days, which is a bit odd.
It happens. I mean, it's a community, and it's sort of like, it's like when you was it Halo, when they stopped that server and like it just died, didn't it? Like people were trying to stay in there and keep it alive and all the rest of it. But they all just disappear, and it's a shame, really, because by the sounds of that, like you had a great laugh. I mean, so you were playing that in '97, were you?
Yeah, 97 through to say 2003, and then they started shutting down the servers, and and you had very little in terms of people playing anymore. They'd all moved on to the
Hey, Retro
Medal
Games,
of
how you doing?
Honors by then and Call of Duties. So Delta Force 2 was left in the dust because it had already Delta Force 3 and 4 and 5 after that. So, but there was a dedicated bunch of people that stayed with Delta Force 2 for a while until they closed the servers off.
Yeah. What's this game? Have you played that one?
Ghost Recon back in the day, yeah.
That was that's our clan Force Delta Force.
It was very much about like protecting your bases and sniping the enemy and rushing people with automatic.
Do you know what I love seeing when you see people having like the was it the lanyard parties where everyone turned up with their PC and their monitors and everything else and hooking them all up? I mean, it's just something you just don't see these days, is it? So I think everything's so easy to set up.
The thing that I miss is like we used to have squad matches back in the day, and we had a website. We each had websites for each of our clans, and on each website there was a squad page where you'd list all your matches against all the other groups, what the score was, who the MVP was, and all that. And now it's all taken care of inside the game now, and you have very little control over that.
Do you play any PC games now?
I play some games on Steam. I've been playing Fall Guys recently, which I've been having a blast at because it's so easy.
I keep seeing people playing that, and it does look something that could be quite fun. Wasn't Retro Skelly playing in the last one with you?
Yeah, we had 4 of us. There was me, Tacoma Parkour, MW Games was in there, and Retro Skelly in there as well. And we all had like a good laugh for about an hour. Yeah,
it's
just so easy. You just go and run. You just run and jump, and that's it.
Just run and hopefully don't die.
That's it.
So,
but over the years, sorry, over the years, I've played like I played computer games with the best of them. I've done all the Call of Duties and stuff like that. Yeah.
Do you know I've never been very good at first-person shooters. What my favorite style of games is racing games. Absolutely love racing games. Me and John the other night were playing Blur on the PlayStation 3, and I forgot how good that game is. If you've ever played like Wipeout or Mario Kart, you will love Blur because it's like real cars, but absolutely stupid arcade physics with pair-ups.
Yeah,
and I'm sure
one of the reasons you mentioned Wipeout. I love Wipeout.
Yeah, you can't not love Wipeout. Have you ever played Wipeout on the VR?
No, I've not. VR is something.
Have a sick bucket next to you.
Everyone's doing VR.
Yeah, I do have an Oculus Quest myself. I tell you what, though, with the Oculus Quest, it came out at just the right time for me. I have never bought anything on day one or pre-ordered. But I pre-ordered an Oculus Quest, and I think it was just at the end or just at the beginning of the second lockdown. It was in a lockdown anyway, where we couldn't go anywhere. And it was such a great escape. I was playing poker. I was chatting with people all around the world. There's a place called Big Screen, which unfortunately now, I went back in there a couple of days ago. They've removed all the channels from there. I mean, I was sitting in there in a massive cinema, and it felt like a massive cinema, watching Star Trek. You know what I mean? With zero gravity. So we were throwing popcorn at people and it was floating away. And John, as well, we used to meet up, this guy here, we used to meet up and watch cage fighting. And I remember the one time we were sitting there watching cage fighting with a guy from Texas. You know what I mean? So it's that kind of, what's good about the Oculus Quest I found was it's more of a social thing.
Yeah.
And it really was a good social thing at the right time when none of us could get out. So
yeah. I mean, it's one of the reasons why you talk about the social thing. It's one of the reasons why I got into all this YouTube stuff. Like, it wasn't to become big or viral or anything like that. It was literally to build a little community around and get into one, and see who pops up and see who can have a laugh and a chat with.
Exactly. I think that's the main thing with this YouTube thing. There are some people who think that you shouldn't have any ambitions whatsoever, which I think is a little bit narrow-minded. But then you've got the flip side of it. You've got the people who are so focused on, I've got to be big, I've got to put out the content that's getting the most views and getting the most watches and stuff like that. it's also wrong. And I've said this many times. The best thing about YouTube is talk about what you enjoy, be yourself. Most important thing. If you're a character or anything else like that, then you're going to fail pretty quickly. And let your channel grow slowly, because you will gain a great community around you, and it will grow with your channel, which I think is the most important thing. And it's the community is great. It really is.
As you can imagine with YouTube Connect, there's like 3 different tiers of people that do YouTube. There's those that just want to put their stuff out on the internet. They're interested in chatting and stuff, and they ain't got any ambition at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
And there's a second layer of people that want their content to be good in the hope that they're going to break that 1K subs and possibly be on the road to monetization. And then you've got the third set of people that think that they're going to get there no matter what. But that does take a lot of work. You have to keep at it and at it and at it and going and going and going, because it's just not
takes a lot of work. Carry on. And you have to kind of, I don't know how to say this in the not just commit. You've kind of got to forget about you, and you do have to look at the algorithms. You have to look at what's popular. You have to look at everything like that. You know what I mean?
That point, you're doing videos to please.
Exactly,
you're doing videos to please at that point, and that's not really fun.
But yeah, the community thing as well. I mean, I said what you do as well for your channel, for everybody else group. I'll get it right eventually. Probably will. It is a great thing. It really is. And you know what? It's been interesting talking about your gaming history, because I don't think I've ever actually had a conversation with you about your gaming journey. And I think this is a segment I'm going to put into this going forward, is hearing people's gaming journey from the start to the beginning. Even if they're not really a gamer, everyone's had some kind of game system in their house at some point. And it's great hearing the memories from that.
I think, my journey kind of, it went with the PC, and it also went with the PlayStation as well, and it ended with the PS4 and all those games. Obviously done the FIFAs and the Call of Duties and whatnots, but I've come back to PC big time now and just started playing games on stream. And because my hands don't work as well as they used to, I find that playing retro games is much easier for me and much more enjoyable than going back and playing the Call of Duties and so on, because I just can't.
You can't keep up now.
Well, no, I can't keep up with the kids. I can't. I really can't. They're just too fast. Yeah.
Let's move on now. We've talked about retro gaming, and one of the main reasons why I actually did want you on here is we were talking backwards and forwards about music.
All right.
And top 5 bands is what we're going to go with. What are your favourite bands and why?
Well, I'll give you my number 1 favourite band straight off, and that's Pink Floyd.
Yeah, I already knew that was coming, and I have some visual aids ready. So, favourite album then from Pink Floyd?
My favourite Pink Floyd album is it's tough, because Pink Floyd is a mood to me.
Absolutely.
So some albums work some days, and like, for example, The Wall can be an angry album, or if you listen to it correctly, it can also be a very thought-provoking album. And the Dark Side of the Moon can seem like a crazy off-the-wall album, but there again, it carries those really hefty themes of war and what happens to people. It's exactly how people end up. Roger Waters was definitely making a statement throughout most of his career that not many picked up on, and it's something that I picked up on instantly. The lyrics were like nothing else I'd ever heard from any other band.
Just a very classic design now, this, though, isn't it?
It's one of the first albums. I remember hearing it when I was sort of about 7 and not knowing what it was. I just remember the heartbeat at the beginning, the boom, boom, and thinking, I've never heard a song like that before. I've never, ever heard a song start like that. That's not music. And I thought that's why it stuck in my head. And I came back to it years later because of the triangle.
Yeah.
Nice.
What did I tell you before coming live? I'm trying to line something up on the camera, and I'm doing this all over the bloody place. Can never get used to that. Yeah, as we're talking about Dark Side of the Moon, this copy here that I actually have was actually my dad's that was passed down to me, and I think that's where the love of Pink Floyd actually came from. I'm gonna have to put that back in off camera.
Did you ever manage to get to a Pink Floyd concert?
Unfortunately, I never actually got to a Pink Floyd concert. Just too expensive or wasn't old enough and stuff like that. But going back to the VR again and talking about the whole lockdown, going back to big screen, you could stream your own screens whilst you're actually whilst you're in big screen. And I was streaming Pink Floyd concerts in a virtual wood with a campfire in the middle, with everyone sitting around. I think you can have 12 people at a time watching this concert, which was absolutely amazing to have all these people around. And again, it's really bad because I haven't been back there for so long, and I've gone back, and all the people I used to speak to every single week, because I think I used to do it every Saturday, I can't find them anymore. They're just not online anymore, which is sad because we had such a great time. There was somebody there who every concert I put up, she went, I've been to that one. I was there. I was right at the front on this one. And it was great hearing her stories and everything else of Pink Floyd.
So Pink Floyd was my most influential band ever. It taught me how to play the guitar. I followed David Gilmour like mad. I watched everything that came out. I got every book that I could and tried to copy his style. It culminated all those years with a little video that I've got on my channel called My Attempt at Comfortably Numb, which is me playing the two solos from Comfortably Numb. Now, the first part of the solo is not brilliant, but the second part of the solo, I'm really, really proud of. Like, so, yeah. So
well,
you
can play the guitar better than I can. I've tried.
Well,
just going to answer this question here that came up. Well, not question. Audiophiles are screaming at Gingerlad putting a vinyl in a sleeve. There's a reason for that, because the actual sleeve in that is so degraded over the years of my dad using it that it's a crumpled mess inside.
It's why
I put it over
toilet paper now.
But it's not that. It's just, it is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, people are going to scream at this, but there's a reason why I've not changed it. I mean, I think it's actually stuck in there. Is, again, this may be torn to hell, right? This has got marks and scratches and everything on it, like all down here. This disc record has got marks and everything on it. It's not perfect, but do you know what? These are all marks and scratches and everything that my dad did to this record. So I could get an absolute pristine, perfect copy of this. I could change that sleeve, but it wouldn't be the same. It never will be. So, yeah.
Do you still listen to it occasionally on?
All the time.
But do you listen to that version, that vinyl?
I listen to that actual record. I actually put that record on.
So we was going down the list, weren't we, of bands, because we got stuck up on Pink Floyd there. We could talk about these guys all day.
Just before we carry on with Pink Floyd, though, I have got some other albums I was going to show briefly, which we did. So we've got Nice Pair, which that is, I said, do you actually own any of these albums?
So the Nice Pair, has it got The Saucer Full of Secrets?
It has. And the Piper at the Gates of Dawn.
Yeah, Piper. Yeah, that's it. Piper at the Gates of Dawn. It's got a lot of Syd Barrett in there.
Yeah, an awful lot. Really early one. This one. I said I really thought I had some more of these records, but I actually don't. And we've got
Clouds is one of my favourites. I like that from the early days.
I haven't actually listened to that one for a while, which I really need to. Wish You Were Here.
Yeah,
I do need. Hang on. I always do this when I go live, and I'm trying to remember something, and I completely forget. It'll come to me in a minute. This one as well, really early Pink Floyd.
That's an early one.
I don't think I've listened to that in a very long time. Oh, fucking hell. Where did I get in there? I've got to rickroll you somehow.
Nice one. Got to have it in your collection.
Yeah, unfortunately, I got that in my collection as a joke, and my son always puts it on. So
Oh, you can't
we
get
got
rid of it
final.
now.
Yeah, can't get rid of it.
Final Cut, the
Final Cut as
album
well.
that broke the band.
Yeah, it's not the best album. This one.
I
Absolutely
really
is.
enjoy some of the songs on that album. I've got to be
Heavy.
honest. I
Yeah,
do
no
give
song.
it a
This is
listen.
the thing is there are good songs on the album, but as an album as a whole, I don't think it quite works as well.
No, that's true, but there is a history behind it because a lot of that stuff was recorded for the actual Wall album, but it was left over. And then when Roger Waters left, he wanted to take that stuff with him, and that's how he made made that album. That's that's his album. It's not a Pink Floyd album so much. They'd already broke up by the time he
Yeah,
released
yeah.
that album.
I don't even know what date this has got. I'm going to open this one over here so people don't complain at how it's recording.
It's probably in a
83.
white state.
Here's what's going to shock you: 83, the year I was born.
Wow.
So yeah. Anyway, that's Pink Floyd. I think Pink Floyd is one of the greatest bands ever. It really is. And as you said it yourself, Pink Floyd is more about listening to it and a mood. It's about sitting there and listening to an album from start to finish. It's why I like it as a record.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that.
It's my go-to music. My second one is I don't know if you know these guys, Muse.
I do know Muse. I listened to Muse an awful lot when I was younger, but I haven't actually listened to anything from them for quite a long time.
Yeah, they're prolific. They're still doing stuff even today, and I will argue with anybody alive right now that they are one of the greatest living stadium rock bands right now. They fill stadiums, these guys, easily.
I would love to get to see it, to be honest. I'm trying to think of what actual songs I remember from them, but it's been that long and I've drank and smoked so much I can't remember. It all gets a bit hazy when you reach a certain age, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's always hazy here, like for me. So my third one would be again the same kind of lines as Radiohead and Pink Floyd. Muse and Pink Floyd, and that's Radiohead.
Yeah, you gave it away there on that one.
I give it away. Radiohead is so surreal at times, and yet so genius as well. Paranoid Android is simply one of the greatest pieces of rock ever put to sound. It's one of the great songs ever, I'd say. Yeah.
Really.
So,
again, not Muse. Who was it again? Radiohead. I do not remember. I remember again listening to it when I used to listen to Muse, and I haven't actually really gone back to anything they've done for a very long time. So
yeah,
maybe I'll have to go back and give these a chance because it sounds like a lot has actually passed me by on all this. Quick question to the actual audience as well in the comments: what are your favourite bands? What do you remember listening to? What do you love? What's your guilty pleasure in music? There's a good one. What's your guilty pleasure? So let me know in the comments if you have any. So what we're up to? We're up to number 4.
No, we've done that. We've done what? Pink Floyd, Muse, and
3.
Radiohead. So I'll go for a very British band now and go with Oasis because they owned during the day.
They absolutely did. You couldn't go anywhere, could you, back then without hearing Oasis somewhere?
No. And I mean, there's so many bands from that era that I could name that like did good stuff like from before, but Oasis were just like they were so big then that they're still big now in a way. Those songs are never going away now.
Oh, absolutely. Do you know what? They're the type of songs you put on and you know you'll get like a crowd of people singing along to it.
Yeah. So I kind of switched it around a little bit and went and brought in Oasis as a substitute for the Shadows. But my last band will be the Beatles for obvious reasons.
Yeah. You can't really escape the Beatles, can you? I mean, the influence they had over everyone is amazing. We have some here in the comments. We have Depeche Mode and the Cure.
Yeah, also good.
Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses, Slash was a hero.
No surprises, Radiohead. Is that someone that knows you then? No Surprises
No
Radio.
Surprises is a song by Radiohead,
Oh,
which
okay.
is
Sorry.
it's a bit of a sad song, but it's a good song.
Guilty Pleasure. Lionel Richie.
Ooh, Dancing on the Ceiling.
Def Punk. Do you know what? Best of Queen? And right, I'm going to show a couple now for me. And it is actually in there, the best of Queen. Right. There's a reason why this will always be stuck in my head. It's so annoying trying to get the ring light off, the shining off that. Do you know when you used to look back at like family parties and stuff like that someone's recorded with a video camera at all the parties, your birthday, Christmas, stuff like that? Every single one of those birthday parties, whether it was my birthday party or one of my brothers, Queen, Best of Queen, was always playing in the background. So it was literally the soundtrack to my childhood.
As a kid, what song do you remember the most, though?
Well, it's the whole album. That's the thing. I mean, there isn't one song that sticks in my head the most.
Is that the album with "Don't Stop Me Now" on?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
and that is just after "You're My Best Friend." The weird thing is, I know what order they're in as well. And I'm very, very grateful for my dad playing this all the time, because the other stuff he used to play, we used to go on family holidays. You get in the car, drive down the motorway. We always used to go to Mablethorpe and Rill. And on the way there, it was either Madonna or UB40. That was it. That's
UB40.
all he played. Yeah, that was great. But playing it again and again and again. My dad was a creature of habit. Still is a creature of habit. So much so the Madonna album, I can't remember which album it was. If somebody played it to me, I would tell you exactly it's that one. But somebody took it out and scratched the disc. When he was putting it on, it got to like the third or fourth song and started skipping. He pulled into a service station, went into the service station, bought another copy of the same album to put it in so we can continue driving. Get my words out.
Nice one.
Yeah, I just
So
Madonna and UB40.
Was it new UB40 or old UB40?
Old UB40.
Oh, I'm a fan of old UB40 for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Queen, I'm with you guys on Queen, but in our household, it's very much a 50-50 split between Queen and Pink Floyd as to who reigns as the king.
Do you know what? They can both win. It's all good.
Yeah, I'll let them both have it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? If there's a discussion of should we play Pink Floyd or Queen today, I don't think anyone's going to be a loser. You know what I mean?
I could have to go for both easily. What's that album? That my favourite go-to album, the Highlander one.
I know which one you're talking about. I don't know if I've got it here with me.
It's a Kind of Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, It's a Kind of Magic album. It's one of my go-tos. AC/DC as well, proper British.
I've got my Led Zeppelin there at the end. Do you know what? If we're talking about Queen, we can't not talk about News of the World.
News of the World, yeah. That creepy one.
News of the World, because this album cover, I still think is one of the greatest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is why you bought vinyl records. It wasn't so much to listen to the music, it was for all this stuff.
Do you know that there's a whole Family Guy episode about that?
I know the episode. I know where that face just keeps appearing.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, I will go with the 50-50 on the Queen Pink Floyd thing, with the caveat of saying Dave Gilmour's a better guitarist.
Yeah. What did you actually think to the Pink Floyd movie? Not Pink Floyd, the Queen movie? Because I've only recently watched it.
I didn't like it, and I'll tell you why. It just felt fake. It felt so fake. I thought that the main guy gave a good performance.
Yeah, the one thing I did like about that was that
Rami Malek.
Yeah.
Won it. Yeah, performance, but the rest of it just didn't work. It just didn't fit. It didn't give me the feel of the 70s and 80s.
Sorry, people are still writing their music here. So, Daft Punk, we got Iron Maiden. Hobby likes Martin. I knew I liked you. Gaming Grandad.
No one mentioned Ozzy yet.
Oreo Speedwagon.
Ozzy and Black Sabbath.
Oh yeah, you got to. Do you know what's actually so sad to see how Ozzy is these days?
Yeah,
My friend went to the last gig that he ever did, and he said it was painful to actually watch.
I think the poor guy's got a bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look, put it this way: there can't be many brain cells left in his head that he hasn't
no, no, no.
treated
Well,
with some substance.
he has lived many lifetimes in one go, though.
Oh, he has. He absolutely has. Do you know what? How the fact that he's still alive now? If you hear some of the stories
Exactly.
he used to get up to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Black Sabbath. Listen both all day. Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne. Right. I was going to some different bands as well. I do absolutely love Led Zeppelin. Do you ever? We're talking about Queen now and Brian May. Did you ever listen to the Starfleet project? Have you ever heard of this?
No, but the picture actually reminds me
That
of a thing
that
that used to be on Saturday morning
yeah,
TV.
because it's actually
Starfleet.
Starfleet. The TV show was Starfleet. Do you remember the
Yeah,
ship?
yeah,
Right,
I
I
remember
actually
it.
got that. The story behind this was Brian May and a load of people were. Hang on, if you have to read on the back there. Hang on. All these guys
Yeah. Oh, I
all were
see.
just doing basically a jam session, and somebody convinced him to release it as an album. And I tell you what,
Yeah.
if you like Queen, if you like, definitely give this a listen. It is a really, really good album. It's literally just put it on, play it all the way through, and just listen to and enjoy.
I'll have
Um,
to hunt that down and have a listen.
yeah, the Starfleet project. If you just type in Starfleet, you will get the cartoon, which is not a cartoon; it's more puppets, isn't it?
Yeah.
I still have my original VHS of Starfleet. I do like that cartoon. We're not going to get into cartoons though, because that conversation is for another
That's
day.
another day.
Yes, definitely another day. Although when we're going to talk about cartoons, I do have Family Ness on vinyl.
Wow.
just because. Does anyone remember this?
Your place is like a museum, mate.
I've heard that a few times.
It is. You know, you could definitely open a retro museum with the stuff that you've
No, I
shown
couldn't.
on
I don't want
YouTube
people in my
alone.
house.
Yeah, that's true. Gotta get garage, mate.
And this is going to be one here that I think we both absolutely agree on, and that is War of the Worlds.
Oh yeah, definitely. It got me
Absolutely,
through illness. That did.
yeah. War of the Worlds. The second that beat drops after he's finished doing the intro, still makes the hair stand up on my arms. It really does to this day. The
Did you
artwork,
see the artwork on the actual album is brilliant.
yeah,
It gives you a real
and,
sense of what's happening when you're listening to it.
and it's even better. Hang on, with this.
Oh,
If you're going to get Pink Floyd, I'm sorry, I will keep saying the wrong things, but you know what I'm trying to say. War of the Worlds, because the illustrations in this, I still think, are amazing.
Yeah, it's true. So if you do see it at a car boot sale, have a look, see if it's got that booklet in.
Yeah.
Worth
I
picking
did
up.
actually pick another one of these up at a car boot sale. I was saying that. I'm sure I've got. No, it's not a single. It's Pink Floyd I picked up as a single for 25p. But I did pick up another version of this, and I gave it away to my mate who didn't have a copy, and it was £1 at a car boot sale. I mean, always flick through and see what's there. Whenever you're going through vinyl records, so I'm just going to go through all of them. Whenever you go through vinyl records, you'll always find 95% of the same old rubbish that you've seen a million times. But every so often, a gem will just pop out.
This is definitely a gem.
So always flick through your vinyl records. And
It's like the Dark Side of the Moon album. You can find them with the posters inside, and they're quite rare finds now. Because there's so many different versions of Dark Side of the Moon out there. There's a remastered and so on and so forth. So to get the OG copy.
I do love the fact that I went into HMV for the first time in many, many years the other day with my daughter. And I didn't realise that they've brought all the vinyl records back in the proper bins that you can go through and flick through all of them. Yeah. The only problem is all the albums are 30, 40 quid each.
Oh yeah, they know how to jump on it.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, wow. So it's like, when the hell did this happen?
Yeah.
So
Oh, they know how to jump
yes,
on it, all
there we
right.
go.
It's only a fad that will last for a while, and then these things will get really cheap again as they move on to
Tapes
the
are
next
coming
thing.
back though, aren't they?
Yeah,
Cassette
VHS and
tapes. No,
cassette
cassette
tapes
tapes,
as well.
music tapes.
Yeah, cassette
The only,
tapes as well.
the only problem with cassette tapes is they don't make good players for them anymore. It's all cheap.
No, you've got to have a proper stack for it, really, if you want to
Probably like,
appreciate it.
you saw War of the Worlds at the O2 before COVID. Mate, I'd
Oh,
love
that's
to hear
nice.
your stories of that and
Was that
how
the
it
one
was.
with what's his Qui-Gon Jinn? What's his name? Oh, the actor. I forgot his name temporarily.
Welcome
His
to my
name.
world.
Oh, what's his name? The Irish
What
guy.
will happen is you will start talking about something completely different, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden it'll just bang into your head and go,
I,
I've got to
do,
say it.
I definitely know his name. It's just like all of a sudden been popped out of my head, and it's the guy that plays Qui-Gon Jinn in Obi-Wan. What's his name? I can't believe it. Come on,
Anyway,
chat out. Liam Neeson. That's it.
there you go. You got him.
Yeah. What was I
There he
saying?
is.
What was I
And
saying?
going back to the War of the Worlds again, I have this album, which is amazing. Absolutely love it. And I managed to also pick up the original radio broadcast on vinyl
Yeah,
of
see,
War
that's
of
a
the
bit of a
Worlds.
rare one.
This is an interesting listen. If you have never listened to the original broadcast, and try and put yourself in that mindset where people were absolutely freaked out by this.
Yeah, they were terrified,
They absolutely terrified of it.
buying sauces and all that.
Yeah. So it has sort of like commercial breaks in this as well, where you can tell it was coming up as like, and we're going back to the show kind of thing. And then it shows you a little bit of the music, and then it cuts to the next ad break where they were cutting into the music saying, oh, this has been cited, that's been cited. And it really is an interesting one to.
So really, anybody that came to it just like 2 minutes late after it had just started was walking into
didn't
a
hear
bit of
the,
a
yeah,
nightmare. It just
exactly,
sounds like
because
a news report.
there was some very, very, very
Yeah, so I was going to
freaked
ask
out
you, what did
people.
you think to the Liam Neeson version of War of the Worlds?
The original one's best for me, to be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, surely you appreciate a live version as well.
Do you know what? I actually haven't seen it live, and I don't think I've watched it all the way through. So, giving you an actual, idea of that, I couldn't tell you because I've not seen it properly. To
I'll tell you
me,
what I'll do. I know
this
it's
is,
on YouTube somewhere, so I'll send you a link as soon as I find it.
I should do. To be honest, it's just one of those things that kind of passed me by. I'd love to have gone and seen it, but unfortunately, never happened.
No.
Right.
Well,
So,
yeah, the Pink
music-wise,
Floyd thing. You said you'd never been to see Pink Floyd. I actually went to see the Australian Pink Floyd. You heard of those guys?
were they actually any good?
Yeah, they were absolutely fantastic, mate. You would not have known the difference if you'd have closed your eyes. Check them out online. They are absolutely great. If you get a chance to go and see them, and it's relatively cheap, they put on the whole shebang: the light show, the pyrotechnics, the pig, everything, mate. The whole
Really?
lot. Yeah.
Definitely,
Yeah.
that'd be very interesting. And I bet you it was an hell of a lot cheaper than going to see Pink Floyd.
Last time I went, it cost me 44 quid, which is still quite expensive. Like, but there were good seats in the show. Like, it was mind blowing, mate. Lasers, the lot.
Do you know a band I would love to see live? I'd love to see Rammstein live.
Oh right, the German band.
Yeah, just I absolutely love Rammstein, and they just put on a proper show. And as I said, if you know me and everything else, you know I've a fascination with fire. So to actually see one of their shows would be amazing. It really would.
Proper
I have to
guitar
say,
training.
hello to Kyle. This is my brother. Didn't actually see you pop up earlier on, so nice to actually have you here. He tends not to watch anything I do because he said it's really weird to see me on YouTube. You know what I mean? When he sees me in person. So, right.
Yeah, see, I'm looking in the chat. He says Pink Floyd, Aussie Floyd are amazing. I'd agree. That stuff, you've got to check it out, mate. If you get the chance,
I will do.
Definitely, it's worth it. It's a Pink Floyd fan.
I'll definitely check those out. Right, we're going to move on now to what time we at? Bloody hell, we have been rabbiting for a while. We're almost at the hour. We didn't even get to the second one. Do you know what? We're going to blast through to the second one because I
Just
want
go
to
for
talk
it.
about
Quick
movies.
fire round.
Yeah, well, not even quick fire. The whole hour thing is a bit loose unless you have to run off anywhere. Just let
I
me
don't
know.
have to run off anywhere, mate.
Right, we are going to talk now about your favourite top 5 80s movies.
All right.
Before we get started, let me know in the chat what are your favourite 80s movies. If it goes just into the 90s, that is okay. Because to be honest, it's a bit of a blurry line between 80s and early 90s, especially for me anyway.
Well, this is the thing, because like I was thinking about adding Goodfellas because it's got to be one of my top 5 films ever, because I really like a gangster flick, Godfather and all that. Love that kind of
Never
stuff.
seen the Godfather movies.
But the actual flick was 1990, which just outweighs it.
No, that's
So
fine. That's fine. Yeah,
I
you
did
can
pick
still put that one in there.
I'll run these down in order. I did have an order to it. So and I'll give you the reasons why. I'll pick Blade Runner at number 5.
Sorry,
And
just
Blade
that
Runner.
comment there from Retro Bates. He's not telling. He wants to do a live stream.
Yeah. See, like I can see people guessing things in the chat now.
Well,
Like, and
they're just showing off their favourites, if you know what I mean.
so some of them are going to collide for sure. But yeah, Blade Runner, Ridley Scott's Blade Runner, and the soundtrack, the Vangelis soundtrack, it just blew me away. So as a futuristic, even now it stands up. The visuals are just incredible. So that's my number 5 pick.
Yeah.
Number 4, I'm going to go for The Thing, because I love horror, and that one really did it for me. The no-win scenario of the story as well really topped it off, because
unfortunately you've just picked Retro Bates' favourite movie, so that's one off
yeah,
your list, Paul.
I'm going to go on and say RoboCop as well, because that's the next one at number 3. RoboCop, influential as hell.
Which RoboCop? First one?
I'm talking about the first one. I would even degree the second one. The third one is where it just kind of lost it completely.
Do you remember the RoboCop cartoon?
No, I never watched cartoon.
It's bad.
But I do remember the RoboCop cheapo series that they did 4 mini movies of that were totally rubbish.
I have those on VHS, not VHS, on DVD, and
I've got them on DVD.
But I picked them up because I thought they were original ones. I didn't look at them properly and brought my own. Switched the first one on and went, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah, the helmet don't fit right or nothing. It looks weird.
No. What do you think about the reboot of RoboCop?
Everybody smashed it, and for good reason on some points. But I thought it had potential, and they ran out of the potential by taking his silver suit away. When they changed it into a black tactical gear, I wouldn't have minded if he switched backwards and forwards and used the black tactical gear for when he was on mission, and then used the silver suit for when he was actually, patrolling the streets. But I wanted that silver suit, and they got rid of it really quick. And I thought, I don't look like RoboCop no more. So that's
the whole thing was he was RoboCop. Is that, you know what I mean? It's the silver suit.
So then it just went into some generic robot man thing.
Yeah, I get you. So next on your list, what have we got after RoboCop?
Well, an all-time classic, Terminator.
You are going for all the classics, aren't you?
Well, I mean, these are the influential ones from the 80s, the ones that were absolutely massive. I mean, when the Terminator come out, it just involved everything. Everybody wanted to see it. It was the thing to do. If you hadn't seen it, why? If you was at school and you hadn't seen it, you'd probably get your head kicked in, like, because like you had to see it. It was like Ghostbusters. It was a had to see type of thing, like, so. Yeah.
So my brother there saying that controversial, but he's going to say Land Before Time, and I'm sorry, but I agree with him there because I sat and watched it many times with him. You know, it's one of those.
The cartoon Land Before Time, I do remember it.
Yeah, the first one, only the first one.
Right, my first one. It is the Alien.
The first Alien.
The first Alien movie is the biggest movie ever for me, because it came at point of my life. So it was made in 1979. So that meant it was on TV in the UK about 1982, 1983. And I was 9, 10 when I watched it, and all I'd watched before then were the old black and white Frankenstein werewolf movies, and I was scared of them, mate. They scared the living crap out of me back then. And then I went and watched the Alien one night, and that was it. I thought the filmmaking has changed. It's now,
absolutely.
but there was a difference. I now understood that it was practical effects and clever people that made this happen, and that I wasn't to be sitting there shitting myself because it looked scary.
Have you ever watched the program on Netflix, The Movies That Made Us?
Yeah, I've watched something
where they were mocking up the alien puppet, where they had a load of people in the car park with like broomsticks as the handles, and they wrapped them all in bin bags.
Yeah, it looked ridiculous.
But that's how they were trying to figure out how it moves. You know what I mean? Like, so the first Alien was made with a load of people standing on each other's backs.
That's right, foam and bits of sticks and stuff. I've seen the pictures and that was a really tall, 7 foot
Aliens was 70s, but as I said, it's a bit loose with the 80s theme. Okay, it's okay. We're allowed to have
that. He says it was 70s. I think 79. But to us in the UK, we wouldn't have seen it at that time anyway. Like really, it would have been 80 or onwards.
Absolutely, there. Flight of the Navigator, amazing movie. Right, I have a couple that I do actually want to talk about. First one I do actually have here on VHS, and we have Batteries Not Included.
Great film.
I absolutely love this movie, and if you can see on there, this actually has a sticker on it saying £1.50 a night to rent.
Mrs. Tezz will still watch that if it's on at Christmas.
Oh, it's a great movie. You know, everyone should watch this.
Oh, I've seen it plenty of times.
Have you seen? Do you know Adam Savage, that he's one of the Mythbusters, or was one of the Mythbusters?
All right, I get him.
He's got his own YouTube channel, and he actually had one of the props of this one in the shop, an actual model this big of the actual robot.
Did he work on it at the time then?
No. But what it is he's ever since leaving the show, he's got his own YouTube channel, and he just brings people in from because he works in the industry. So
I know. I know.
And everything else, and he said just to sit there and actually hold it like the guy did in the actual movie was great.
I'll tell you something interesting about him. You remember, what was it? Attack of the Clones, Star Wars Attack of the Clones, when they brought in the alien Sea World, which had the Camino, the tall aliens, which Obi-Wan goes to talk to. But they've got the clones on that planet. So Adam Savage was involved in building those actual miniatures to be photographed of the floating space stations and so on. And so the final design is very much got him on it because he did the finalization and the cleaning up of the actual models. So that's pretty cool.
He worked on so many things though, didn't he? But yeah, I did not know that. Talking about Star Wars, I thought I had seen that movie. I watched it the other day because after watching Obi-Wan, I thought I'll go back and watch the prequels. I don't remember half of what happens in that second movie. I must have skipped it so many times that I just completely forgot about it. Which
it's very much really. Attack of the Clones is very much just a movie that sets up the third movie. It's very political,
absolutely,
and it character building between Padme and Anakin. So it's all about that really. In the entire movie, just it doesn't have a resolution because you know it's going to lead into the third film, exactly. So it doesn't need a resolution.
Let's not go into the Star Trek and Star Wars stuff. I meant Star Wars because I do actually have a stream coming up with a couple of people talking about all the Star Wars.
Are you a Star Trek fan though?
I am a Star Trek fan. Yes.
Something that I found out recently that was interesting is: are you a fan of the original film, the motion picture?
Yes and no. If you know what I mean, I know you're going to hate me for this, but I pretty much came into Star Trek at Next Gen.
Yeah,
that's where most of my. I mean, I remember the movies. I don't really remember so much the show. My brother Kyle will tell you this if he's still in the chat. My dad watched Star Trek on repeat over and over and over again.
That was me. That was, yeah.
So, but no, I do remember it. I remember it being very slow and probably not the most popular one we watched in our house.
No, you're absolutely right. It is very long and drawn out, and the visuals are not as good as they could be. They were good at the time, but now they don't hold their weight as well as they should do. But there's been recently a remaster director's edition done that has a bunch of new footage, and they've completely cleaned up the Vija storyline and the images that go with it. So
have they released it at all, or?
I'm not so sure. It's going to get released at some point. I heard somebody talking about it on a random podcast that I was listening to. So I don't have many details other than it exists. It's out there, and I'm interested, and I want to see it.
Right, next movies of mine. I'm trying to remember what they were. Secret of Nim. Now that is a cartoon movie I absolutely love. I wish I'd brought it with me here because I've got 2 copies of it. But The Secret of Nim, to me, is an absolute masterpiece of hand-drawn animation before everything all changed over to CGI and stuff like that. Do not ever watch The Secret of Nim 2 because it's an absolute pile of crap. They literally ran out of... They just had no budget at all whatsoever. They rushed it out the door, but the first one is absolutely amazing. Abyss is another one I absolutely love. I just think that movie is
James Cameron.
Yeah, Abyss. It's one of those ones. I know it sounds really bad, but I want to get Abyss because I see it all the time and watch it on a Blu-ray, not Blu-ray, Laserdisc.
Yeah,
I want to get, you know what I mean. When I watch this movie, I want to watch it as an event. You know what I mean? Getting out the Laserdisc, put it in, and playing it, and everything else. Don't know why. It's just a weird thing I want to do. You know me. I collect odd stuff.
It was one of me and Mrs. Tezz's favourite movies back in the day. We had it on our shelf when we first moved in together. It was one of the first movies we had. Yeah.
Do you remember Cocoon as well?
Oh yeah, Cocoon, definitely.
Yeah,
Cocoon,
I remember watching that. Really another one of my favourites, I think it has been mentioned in the chat, is Flight of the Navigator.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, who didn't like that one?
Love that movie. I think I have said this before on a stream, but do you know the actual model for the ship for Flight of the Navigator is a roof on one of the kiosks in Disney World that sells donuts?
Do you know what? I heard this just the other day, and I seen a picture of it.
And they're painting it red and stuck a rocket coming out the side. And because you go over the top of it on like a monorail, and when you're looking down and looking up at it, you can't tell. But once you go over the top of it and look down, it is the exact shape of the Flight.
I've seen it. That was pretty cool because it got lost for a while and it was in a dump.
Yeah. Absolutely. It almost got completely trashed. So, and I'm going to finish up here with not a movie. I'm going to finish up with a person, and that is John Candy. John Candy, Trains, Planes and Automobiles, Uncle Buck. I know it's a 90s movie, but even Cool Runnings. Watch Cool Runnings all the time, and I'll still watch it at Christmas now. I know it's not a Christmas movie, but neither is Die Hard, but we still watch that at Christmas. You watch everyone start telling me now Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie.
There you go. But yeah, John Candy is part of my childhood and growing up. There's a bit in Uncle Buck where the second the beat drops at the beginning it's my mom's favorite movie, or one of my mom's favorite movies, and I always remember her hearing that beat, hearing those. It's a shame, a guy that was taken from us way too soon.
Yeah, he was a big lad, weren't he?
Yeah. What's your favourite John Candy movie?
You see, you got your Planes, Trains, and Automobiles there, and Uncle Buck as well. See, I can't stray too far from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles because it's just so good. The scene with the pants is just etched into my mind forever. Not just that, it's the bit in the car as well where everything is burnt. The whole car is they're just on its chassis driving in the scarves and hats. Yeah, it's an hilarious
Do you
movie.
know that bit in the hotel room where they both walk in, see the single bed or double bed, then look at each other, then look back at the bed? I went to the Game Expo October last year, and I rented a hotel room, and my mate was going to come with me. So I thought, yeah, it's okay, you can stay with me. I've been told there's a pull-out bed underneath this bed. We got there. The whole place had been refurbished, a single bed. And I looked at him, and he looked at me, and all I could see in my head was this John Candy moment of them. So I must admit that I went straight downstairs and said, "Look, we need 2 beds."
Yeah.
but it's that part that sticks in my head of him just looking at him, going, "No, just ain't happening."
Yeah, it's a classic movie. Love
It
John
is
Candy.
absolute classic. Another John Candy movie I really do think gets overlooked. Do you remember? I don't know if this is the name of the movie, but Who Framed Harry Crumb?
Yeah, Who Framed? He
was
played the detective.
Yeah, the detective. The bit in that where where his chest hair falls off onto the woman, and it lands between her legs, and he's like quick picks it up and sticks it on his face.
These were simpler days when you can watch those comedies with your young kids, like.
Yes.
And
I mean, I was. I mean,
yeah,
I didn't
do
know
you
half the
remember
stuff that was
his John Candy's cameo in Home Alone?
Yes, that he was actually paid less than the pizza guy was. He did it as a favour, didn't he?
I think he did the band in the back of the van.
Yeah. He didn't want really. Basically, he wanted to do it as a favour and to just be in the thing, but he was paid less than everybody else was paid.
You're right, though. We did lose him far too early.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Great Outdoors. That was the other one.
Yeah, Great Outdoors with Dan Aykroyd.
Spaceballs. How did I forget Spaceballs?
Oh yeah, Spaceballs the dog. Oh, I've seen so many.
How have we seen it talking about John Candy and we forget fucking Spaceballs? Oh, wow. Great movies. Brewster's Millions. Yes, he was in that.
Brewster's Millions.
Yeah. Oh, it's just some classic movies. These are some movies now that I'm going to have to go and sit down and watch. I haven't seen that movie for a long time. So yeah, I'll
have to pick Spaceballs out of that and say like I'll watch that next.
You'll watch that next.
Yeah, I would.
What's the guy who plays Tuvok in Voyager? I saw a clip the other day. It's quite an old clip because I've played Tuvok in a long-running series. I've done this, I've done that, and all people remind me of is combing through the desert and saying, "I ain't found shit." That's it. That's all people shout at him.
Oh, he's done a lot of stuff, though. He carried on with the Star Trek stuff, but didn't get very far.
Did he? What did he? Okay, we're going to talk about Star Trek just for a minute. You like the original series?
I like all of them.
You love all of them. Where is which is your favourite then of the Star Treks, even the newer stuff?
Well, my favourite is Next Generation.
Next Gen. That works.
Picard, like, and all that lot. I think Data as well. It was such a good pull for the series. Like, at the time,
what do you think of the new Picard?
The what? The new Picard. The new show. They've travelled.
He's gone quiet now. He's gone quiet.
They've travelled a long way outside the norm for Star Trek.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
A lot of new things. I mean, I like it. I personally like it. I do, but I just think it's time to retire, mate.
Yes,
I'd be happy if he said like, "That's it. Like, I'm going to go and sit down for a bit." Like, you know. And apparently, it's got a third season coming with the entire Next Generation cast coming back. So
really,
yeah.
You know what? It is.
Tim Russ,
they really just need to stop. They really need to just like walk away from it. Personally, I've never watched or really watched Deep Space Nine. It's not one I ever really got into. Voyager, I've watched from start to finish, and I enjoyed it back then. But I rewatched it recently, and it's not as good as I remember.
There's a lot of cheesiness to it now, and a lot of filler episodes.
Yeah, a lot. I know they're stuck into deep space and everything else, but they very heavily rely on the holodecks, don't they? It starts feeling a bit like Red Dwarf.
Yeah, that's another one as well. That's another show.
Yeah, there is another actual Let's Talk Retro about Red Dwarf coming up very soon. So what have we got coming up in the future for it? We've got Red Dwarf, we've got Star Trek now. We're going to have to do a Star Trek one. We're going to do a movie one, which Paul wanted to do. Star Wars toys. But yeah, we're going to keep on doing this. I'm really enjoying this Let's Talk Retro. So I think we have.
Like you can do it for hours, don't you?
Yeah. I do think we have come to the end of it now. We've talked for our topics. We've talked about music and videos and your favourites, well, your memories in gaming. Before we go, you have a YouTube channel, don't you? Do you want to tell anyone about that and what you do on that channel? And what things coming up that you can talk about?
Well, on my channel, it started off basically like with quizzes and bits and bobs, and then finally found myself into the retro scene because I had emulators and stuff. So started putting up games, then found you guys and a bunch of American gamers as well, and that's what my YouTube channel is all about. But more recently, it's become about YouTube Connect and promoting YouTube Connect. So it's a bit of both. I like streaming, and I've got a big project coming up soon. I can't say too much about it, but I'll be contacting.
Watch this space.
Watch this space, yeah.
So yeah, that's your YouTube channel. And to be honest, mate, it's been an absolute blast having you on here talking about random stuff. You were quite local, weren't you? You said you're from the Midlands area.
Yeah, I think probably out of all the people that we know, me and you were probably geographically quite close, and if not the closest. We're about 40.
We'll have to meet up, have a pint sometime.
Have a pint of your Viking mead.
Oh, don't do that. I once drank a whole bottle of my mate's mead on a live stream, and it was fine going down. I wasn't fine the next day. It was a rough 24 hours afterwards, I tell you.
Hey, you know you drank it though.
Oh God, I knew I drank it. Yeah, definitely knew I drank it.
Legacy drink.
So yeah, Tezz, absolute pleasure having you on it. When I upload this video, I will put a link to your channel down below and to your YouTube channel and Facebook chat group. Still, I told you I wouldn't get it right all the way through.
Well, the link's all over my videos and channel anyway, so
that's all good. So go and check him out. Yeah, and as far as Let's Talk Retro goes, we are going to be having, as I said, a lot more people on. This one-to-one chat I really enjoy, but there's also going to be a few special sort of 2-hour ones. Although, what have we got up to now? I don't know how long we've been going for. An hour and 20 minutes. Yeah. So there's going to be some 2-hour specials. Again, the Red Dwarf one I'm really looking forward to. Star Trek one as well. Star Wars. The Star Wars one is going to be great because I want to see people's toy collections. Not so much talking about the Star Wars itself, although we will get into that because that's just the nature of Let's Talk Retro. But what I'm most looking forward to is actually meeting so many other people and getting them on here and just finding out more about them. And I think that's what this stream is all about. So if any of you guys in the chat would like to come on, just send me a message and we'll arrange a date.
Well, I'll be watching those, mate. They sound proper interesting.
Yeah, it's amazing how your stream can start up from just a random idea sitting in the pub. That's pretty much how it started. So, right, Tezz, thank you so much for joining me. I am going to play our intro as the outro. I was supposed to be putting up that's it, the Retro 5. The Retro 5 this Saturday, 8 o'clock, over on Sega Zombies channel. It's his first time he's going to be hosting it, and I can tell he's a little bit nervous, but I'm sure he'll do a great job. Something special, so look out for that. And Tezz, I'm going to play the outro now, so thank you so much for being on. Hang on, I've got to find it first. I've got to find it.
Cheers for having me on, man.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone in the chat, and I will catch you all again next time. See you later.
See you guys.